Hello everyone, this is Cobalt. This is the next video in my character analysis series for Brawlhalla. Stick around till the end to hear about entering the giveaway to win community colors, emotes, weapon skins, sidekicks, avatars, or even the battle pass, and voting for the next legends. And if you want to skip all this and get straight into the information, there's a timestamp in the description, and don't forget to subscribe so you can keep up with the release of your favorite legend. In these analyses, I wanted to focus solely on the character's signatures. Light attack combos are covered much more in depth than I ever could elsewhere and function pseudo-comparably for all characters of that weapon class. So I'm not going to be discussing the general neutral of the character with their weapons unless it pertains in some way to their signatures. Firstly, I want to give clear descriptions of the terminology I'll be using. Startup frames are the amount of frames that happen after a move has begun until the first hitbox of the move becomes active. Active frames are the duration of frames that the move contains hitboxes that can collide with your opponent. FAF, or First Actionable Frame, is the first frame available where your character is able to move again after the move has been started. For all of this data, I use the character's jump to display the first actionable frame. Lastly, on miss refers to the move not connecting with an opponent, and on hit refers to the move making contact with an opponent. I'm going to be doing my analysis today on the next voted in legend, Kaya. Kaya was destined to save the world as told by an owl spirit. She befriended a woolly mammoth named Blue, and later fought against ice titans to save her village. Hypernia offered her a place in Brawlhalla where she befriended Bryn, though I'm curious as to why they would offer a spot in Brawlhalla to a 14-year-old, but what do I know? Kaya's weapons are bow and spear. She's seen a few good results in the recent months, and both of her weapons are solid in the metagame right now, and it shows. Kaya has 4 attack, 4 dexterity, 7 defense, and 7 speed, so she's on the tankier side of things, and is pretty quick but can struggle to kill. So, do her SIGs make it harder on her, or are they the saving grace that makes her competitively viable? Well, let's find out. Let's start with her bow. Bow's side SIG has 14 frames of startup, active frames from 15 to 27, and 32 to 37 with an FAF of 65. It functions differently on miss than it does on hit. Should the move connect, it converts into a second hit with active frames from 55 to 58 with a new FAF of 76. Kaya charges forward with a slide before jumping into an upward kick. This SIG has pretty good startup, but a large amount of end lag, so if you miss with it, you can be punished pretty hard for it. I think that one issue that this SIG has is that the initial hitboxes on it are really small, making it easily countered by any disjointed attack. So for the first 31 frames that the move is active, it has the potential to be out-prioritized by another move, and most downlights will cover this threat range. The SIG is quick though, and if coming off of a dodge read at point blank, it can be effective. Not to mention the upward kick can additionally catch jumping opponents and those recovering high. Bow neutral SIG has 15 frames of startup, active frames from 16 to 22 with an FAF of 47. It functions the same on miss as it does on hit. Kaya charges into a slide before firing an arrow upward into the sky at an angle, and a snowy owl appears with hitboxes surrounding it. This move has pretty good startup and FAF, honestly. It doesn't have very many active frames, but it's got decent speed and good range to it, covering a similar angle to bow neutral light while yielding a larger hitbox. It catches jumping opponents and those recovering high as well. It's got some good utility on it thanks to this range and thread coverage, and the forward movement of the SIG helps to catch opponents off guard at times. Not a bad SIG, though the hitboxes on this move can be deceptively small as is common with a lot of bow attacks. Bow down SIG has 21 frames of startup, active frames from 22 to 36 with an FAF of 57. It functions differently on miss than it does on hit. Should the first hit connect, it converts into a second hit with active frames from 50 to 59 with an FAF of 65. Kaya jumps backwards and fires an arrow downward. The arrow then creates some ice shards with hitboxes after hitting the ground. The SIG is a passive SIG and has a fair bit of startup due to this, but it's an excellent punish option for approaching opponents thanks to its passive nature. Next up is her spear. Spear's side SIG has 23 frames of startup, active frames from 24 to 30 with an FAF of 51. It functions differently on miss than it does on hit. Should the move connect, it functions as a command grab with a new FAF of 86. Kaya jumps forward before plunging her spear downwards towards the opponent. If it connects, Kaya throws the opponent backwards with a lot of force. This move has quite a bit of startup to it thanks to the travel distance, and the hitboxes on it are pretty specific as well. It can be hard to hit due to this specific spacing, but it has an okay FAF on miss. I don't see this SIG used too often, and I think it's due to the specific spacing requirements on it. That being said, it has quite a bit of range, so it has its utility and can surprise people at a distance. Spear neutral SIG has 18 frames of startup, active frames from 19 to 24 with an FAF of 60. It functions differently on miss than it does on hit. On hit, the move converts into a second hit with active frames from 40 to 43 with a new FAF of 59. Kaya summons a snowy elephant from the ground and it extends upwards into the air. If this move hits the opponent, Kaya extends her spear upward for a final stab at the opponent. This move has average startup and FAF with okay active frames. The hitboxes for it are deceptive, only being on the far end of the elephant and not covering directly in front of her, but are a little ways away from her, so at a completely stacked distance they may not connect. Spear down sig has 13 frames of startup, active frames from 14 to 37 with an FAF of 58. It functions differently on miss than it does on hit. Should the move connect, it converts into a second hit with active frames from 47 to 51 and a new FAF of 68. Additionally, this move cannot be charged, but if held, the active frames on the move extend and can go from 14 to 72 with an FAF of 93. Kaya spins her spear in front of her, accompanied by snow and wind. The sig has really fast startup, the fastest of all of her sigs in fact, and has an insane amount of active frames if you hold the charge. Its FAF uncharged is about average, but the utility that the sig offers is really unique. The lengthy animation is perfect for baiting opponents into running into it, and offers a lot of room for mind games with the opponent in terms of when the move will end. If it connects, Kaya stops the spin and goes into a second hit from her spear. This is a solid sig on her kit, and additionally functions well whenever slide charged off stage and offers her decent coverage directly in front of her. So, overall her sigs are honestly kind of lackluster in my opinion. Several of them have pretty good startup, but most of them have average or high FAF, making them very punishable on miss. I think that her bow neutral sig is probably her best sig. It's really fast, low in leg on it, and offers her good range and threat coverage above her. I think that a majority of her sigs are pretty niche in terms of their coverage and utility. I don't think that they have a huge amount of synergy on her kit, but I think that her weapons aren't bad right now, and that offers her some utility that makes up for the lack of incredible signatures on her kit. That's what's made her competitively viable recently, I think, and has brought her some success in tournaments. She isn't a bad character by any stretch. She has some good weapons that are pretty decent in the metagame right now, but her sigs aren't super great on her kit, I'm not gonna lie. They're okay, but they certainly aren't mind-blowing or anything. She has to work a bit for her kills, but she's still seeing some results, so she still has a decent spot in the metagame. Today's code to put down in the comments is WaterTribe, along with your Twitter handle or social media of your preference. And if you get that reference, I appreciate it. I'll be streaming on Twitch after this video goes live, so come say hello. The link will be in the description below, and I'll be playing Brawlhalla with viewers or playing ranked mode. Tune in tomorrow for coverage on the highest voted legend from this week. Comment to vote for next week's 5 legends. I'll be continuing this once a day, Monday through Friday, over the next 10 weeks until all 50 legends are covered. So thanks for joining me on this ride. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the release of your favorite legend, and hope to see you back for the next one. Once again, I'm Cobalt, and thanks for watching.